Welcome everyone to the Worst Fans Podcast. I'm your host Marco. Those are your co-hosts Rhett and Buck. Say hi, guys.
Good day.
And today we have a lot of topics to talk about today, including an unboxing to start. My turn now. We're gonna be talking about Bob Iger's return to Disney, Wakanda Forever, because we never really got a chance to talk about it when it was released, and we're gonna talk about the finale of Andor. Fantastic, by the way. Anyway, let's start with the unboxing. They don't even know what I have here. I got this at a Disney wholesale character store in Orlando in a mall. Usually they would sell this at Disney stores for like $55. And I actually got it for about $25 instead. And I'm like, wow, this is actually a really good price, like a decent product for $25. And I just have to get it for myself. This is a Doctor Strange figure.
Yeah. That's a collector right there.
Yes, it's very nice. I love it. When I move into my forever home, I want to have it in my setup in the background.
25, that's it?
$25 for this.
That's a deal, man. Back in the day, it'd be like $100 or something like that.
So you say you sure you got a Disney? It wasn't like a Ross or anything? Because
no,
you go to Ross and find stuff like that.
No, it was at a Disney wholesale. Okay. Disney wholesale store. It was very nice. They only sold Disney products at like clearance. Usually they sold stuff there that they sell at Disney first, and if it doesn't sell well at Disney, it sells at these stores for a much.
You like, sure you want to remove it off? Remove it out of the box because it loses value.
It's already done.
This is something I didn't plan on keeping. First separation. There's tape.
I hear Price is Right.
You know, right? I don't know why. I just get in my head for some reason. I don't know
maybe I was doing the Zelda sound in my head, like when you pick up an item, and maybe it kind of made you think that.
Oh wow, this is heavy.
All right, what is that price? $1.
$1. It's gonna say $1.
And that is the figure right there.
That's cool.
This is something you see like at a comic book store, and they have it like behind like a glass, and it's like $300. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah, that's true.
Out of here. $300. I know where they're buying their stuff now. Yeah.
Look at that. This looks really nice.
Oh yeah,
I love the detail.
Yeah, it's cool.
That is sick. I love it.
I dig it.
I'm gonna put it next to my
my
magic workstation.
Yeah, we should have Doctor Strange there throughout the show. Just
who's gonna be doing? He's gonna be picking right here. There he goes, right there.
Yeah, he can give his opinion on.
Yes,
you know,
it's not a bad idea. I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Excuse me.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
that's cool.
Besides my unboxing, which I thoroughly enjoyed, Rhett had an unboxing. I had an unboxing. Buck, I think it's your turn next week.
I guess it is my turn.
Yeah, you better pull up that blow up doll. Show us your new one.
That one's a collector's though. I don't know.
Yeah, that'll
there's another one I use for that. But yeah,
vintage 1989. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still like he's like 1992. It's like the Daisy Fuentes they sold back then. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Actually, that one's in storage. That one's gonna. I didn't think that one up. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Daisy Fuentes. Oh my God.
I haven't thought of that name.
That's a blast in the past. How did that come out? I haven't thought of her in years.
Like you forgot she existed. Yeah.
Yeah. Marco doesn't even know who she is. He's like, who?
I am
MTV,
lost.
Like one of the hot girls that was a host. I didn't remember what she. Was it like the Spring Break show or something?
Yeah, it was MTV Spring, like the Spring Break. God, what was it? Like, you used to go like Spring Break all week. They'd have like dancing videos.
Wait. It was like an afternoon show, and it was called
TRL.
Like hot. No,
that's
it was
one
like
of them.
Hot,
yeah,
they're geeking out after this. You can tell that they're just like.
Yeah.
There was this show, and it was just like people on the beach, like dancing it up.
That was
like
during Spring Break. Yeah, it was the grind. Was it the grind?
The grind. That was
grind.
The grind.
Yes,
yeah.
The grind.
Oh man. Damn, that brought me back. I don't know what the hell the grind.
Yeah, I used to put my VHS tape, set a record just to see the hot girls. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that. Anyway, so let's talk about what we're talking about. We're like
Bob Iger.
Are you guys done drooling? Okay, there you go. All right, Bob Iger. Yes. Bob Iger. Yes, he has returned to Disney, and a lot of people are rejoicing. Do we think people have any reason to rejoice right now?
I honestly don't even know.
Me neither.
I don't know what to say on any of it because I'm like, I I don't know if Iger did anything good or bad, but I mean, he got Marvel in there, he got
Yeah.
Lucasfilm in there, so like businessman, he's good. But what did Paycheck do that was so bad? And I'm not saying that because I'm defending him. I don't know, but it seems like a lot of people were pissed off
Well,
about him.
he took over right when almost basically when the pandemic started.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I feel like a lot of the bad that's happened really isn't his fault in some ways, right?
I
Not
mean,
sure.
I think one of the biggest things that he changed a lot isn't necessarily Disney Entertainment as much as Disney Amusement. A lot of the Disney parks, they
Yeah.
were just like ruined. Like they upped their prices on everything. That's a lot of
But
exclusivity.
but they lost a lot of money because of the pandemic. That's why they did that,
Correct.
right? I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah. But
so
now Disney is making more money than ever from their amusement parks because everything is so high, and they're not changing it back to that old system. And it's in a system that what's his name introduced before after Bob Iger. The
Epic.
yeah,
yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
It's a system he introduced. When he was in charge, the system was introduced. So, for example, the annual pass system. As a Disney annual pass holder myself, I wasn't paying as much for an annual pass as I am now because it's now more expensive.
Yeah.
And there aren't as many benefits, I would say. It's not really much of an improvement from more price. And there's still blockout dates, and it's like it's just a lot of stuff that they need to improve on, and they didn't improve on it. They made it worse, and they charge more money for it. So maybe that's one reason why people are celebrating that Bob Iger is back, that he can fix this whole Disney amusement situation. But I don't think they're going to, because of how much profit they're getting from it anyway, and people are still going to Disney World.
It was you that explained to me because I hadn't been in years, but the Genie Pass is like the new way to get a Fast Pass or
Correct.
some
Fast passes
bullcrap.
used to be free. They were free. Well, and
Yep.
people just like you pick it up and then you set a time and then you just go.
Yep.
Now they cost $15.
Yeah.
So
Bull crap. That takes me off to hear that because
yeah.
I mean back in the day, a Fast Pass was you go pull a ticket and you'd say, "Oh, I got 3 o'clock. I'll come back at 3 and ride Star Tours or something."
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, because now you could like reserve that like a month before, right? Like rides that, especially if you're going to a resort or something,
No.
you can reserve like fast passes online, and it kind of it's unfair sort of for people actually in the parks. It kind of leaves them kind of like, well, we don't have a shot.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that they can reserve fast, because you can technically get a fast pass whenever you want. There's not necessarily a limit to them now. They just cost money. Before, when pass passes were free, there were a limit, but you had to get them at the park.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel like that was like the fair way to do it.
Correct. And when the app was introduced, the My Disney app, you could actually go on the app when you enter the park, and you could say you could have 3 fast passes, and you could automatically choose those 3 fast passes around the app. But now you can get an unlimited amount of fast passes.
The last time I went, that was what we could do. If you stayed at the resort, actually, I don't know if it's still a thing, but I remember we had to be at the resort and we were able to book it like the day or the night before.
Correct. It was very close to your trip. You could book your fast passes, but now you have to pay money for them. So it's either pay $15, $10, depending on the ride. The price varies per ride. So you have to pay, and either that or wait in a 3-hour line, because there's so many people at Disney World. I recently just went to I think the longest line I saw was at Animal Planet, and it was for the Avatar Flight of Passage, 150-minute wait.
Yeah.
I still have a story on that. Day one, I went when they opened that Pandora, and the line was 8 hours long for flight of that.
That's insane.
And I was like, well, I guess we got to do it. That's what we're here. So we sat in it, and it was only 4 hours. Actually, they lied, but I'm joking. That was day one, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have to imagine also that
I was with Matt actually. We
Oh, you were
halfway
Matt.
through-
Okay.
Yeah, we ended up going taking spots to get the blue beer, so we drank a lot of blue beer, which made it fun. But man, did we have to pee! And right before we got in the building, we're finally at the building. We're like, yes. We're like, oh my god, I gotta pee so bad. We both had to get out of the line, and the people we're with at the time got in the building. We're like, how do we get back to them? And we had to like basically explain to somebody. I was telling you, we were in the line. If you walk us to the inside, we could show you where they are. I said, okay, well, we'll stand with you right where we missed all the cool interior line where there's like the Avatar floating or whatever. I heard about it. I've never seen any of that. But then right where you come to like basically walk through the turnstile or something, that's where it's like, see, that's them. And we got to go with them. So that's my story. not exciting. But
well,
whatever.
I mean, I'm pretty sure also. I mean, interest in that ride is peaking also because Avatar:
We got a new
Way of the
movie.
Water is coming out next
Correct.
month.
And that
so-
ride is probably the closest thing we're gonna get to anything water related when it comes to Avatar. So it's probably just getting people really excited for the
Yeah.
movie itself. I bought my tickets already.
Cool. Yeah,
Oh,
I heard they were on sale.
Oh, I
They just-
forgot. Yeah, man. Shoot.
They just went on
Mhm.
sale a
Yeah.
little while ago.
Yeah.
It's because
Wow.
that new trailer. I saw the new trailer too. I didn't realize there was one until this morning on the Metro ride in. I was like, oh, it just came
Mhm.
out yesterday. And
Yeah.
I was watching. I'm like, I think I'm starting to pick up some weird little things. And I'm like, is Jake gonna cheat on his woman with another Avatar woman?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
like,
I kind of saw
oh,
that too. I'm like, I'm confused. Like,
that's
what's
not
going
her.
on
That's
there?
not
Yeah,
Zoe
No.
Saldana. That's another
No.
voice. And it's
No.
like her hair is
Huh.
curlier. It's like that's a water avatar. Because
Mhm.
obviously there's like greener colored ones and they're or
Yeah.
turquoise or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
You
So
know-
we Bob Paycheck. That's what we're really talking about. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. Well, one last thing about Avatar. I did read an interesting article with James Cameron. He said that this movie, the new Avatar movie, is so expensive that it has to basically be the third or fourth most money making movie worldwide in order just to break even.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot of pressure. I'm like,
That is a
oh,
lot of
man.
pressure.
is.
Damn.
Like, wow.
That's
Especially-
expensive.
That's yeah.
Especially for the
So-
interest level of because honestly,
Yeah.
we like it, but not
Yeah.
everyone out there is all crazy about this thing. you know?
Right. Holy cow.
Well, they're already kind of I guess already from the tickets they've already bought online and stuff so far. It's averaging to make about 170, 180 million opening weekend, which is good.
You
I don't know
one
if
thing
it's
sorry, but one thing I really didn't like about the ticket release.
What?
I'm not a huge fan of 3D, and a lot of the tickets, like I usually watch Cinemark at an XD theater. That's
Right.
that's just what's close to me. I wanted to look at my options for the purchase tickets, and all of the XD tickets were in 3D. There wasn't a single showing that was just regular digital in XD, so I had to look around for other theaters, AMC, Regal, stuff like that had like luxury seating and
Right.
just regular digital seating. The only place I could find was AMC because everything else was just digital 3D. Like luxury was 3D. I couldn't find a single one that was like regular digital. It was really it was a little
so
upsetting.
you don't want to watch it in 3D? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not a big fan of 3D. No, I can't.
Oh
Here's
my
the
God.
thing.
But here's the
Hold on,
thing.
hold on,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
I know. Trust me, I know. I don't like. It gives me a headache.
No.
Makes me nauseous. I just can't.
No. You don't know. Red, school him. Why
Okay.
this is important?
Well, no. I think he gets it.
I
But I
understand.
didn't
It
realize
was a
I know
revelation
the-
in 3D
Yeah,
cinema. This movie in
look,
particular. Yes, I
I'm not a
understand.
big fan. I'm not a big fan of 3D either. But this particular movie is different.
It's why there's 3D
This is
again.
yeah,
This
this
is
is
the
why
only
there's 3D.
I
reason. So
There's
this
a
understand.
reason.
isn't like
Yeah.
I
But
understand.
it makes you sick. So if it makes you sick, it makes you sick.
I can't sit down for a 3-hour and 10-minute long movie watching 3D glasses. I can't.
That's unfortunate. Like that's disability quality. Like you need to like get a free picture. So I that's sad. Like that's sad because
Buy that though.
it's like literally it's why 3D movies even are still happening today is because of the first
Why you say I don't buy that? Well, you don't buy that. What's wrong with you?
That's not okay. You know what? Maybe it's the wrong way of putting it. That's not an excuse. How about that? Because
get sick?
no. Listen to me. I saw opening weekend. Oh, not opening weekend. Opening day. Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, and I got food poisoning the day before.
Mm.
I thrown up 4 times that day before I actually saw the movie. I was
remember
basically going like this, holding my stomach the whole time going to the movie because I refuse not to miss that movie opening day.
Listen, I
So
did the
if I
same
can
thing.
survive.
I did the same thing for Star Wars. I was working in construction at the time, and I got food
Okay.
poisoning, and I felt sick. I threw up at work, and I waited in line for 8 hours for Force Awakens. I
Okay,
still
so
waited in line.
So I think this is worth the sacrifice then.
I just
Sorry.
can't. I can't. I'm sorry. Listen. I'm gonna watch it again, and I'll watch the second time in 3D. I'll put forth the effort. But for the first time for me watching it, I really want to pay attention to the story. I'm more of a plot guy. I really am.
Yeah, but well, okay, now I'm
Yeah.
confused because if you're gonna try it the second round,
I'll
that's
try
like,
it the second round. I'm probably gonna do this a lot. I'm probably gonna do this a lot. Like I'm probably gonna be like I'm gonna be too sick to even pay attention. Is the thing I want to pay attention.
This movie's not about plot. It ever has been. It's always about the
I understand,
visual.
but I've always been a plot
It's more
guy.
about
Immersive
the immersive
version, yeah.
world of the world. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not about the story. It's go watch Pocahontas to get the same
Yeah.
thing, this is gonna be Pocahontas 2, right? Well, I'm sure that was amazing. John Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man.
I can't.
So
I don't know. It's just not for me.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I
Well,
honestly, I think you shouldn't watch it. I'm not. I think you just don't watch it because it's like it'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna get a New York pizza, but like I want it to be 2 days old and like put sour cream on it, and then like it's like you're not even getting the real
I
experience
mean,
that way.
it's
You know,
still gonna
like
be visually amazing. I'm still gonna watch it in a decent theater. It's just not gonna be 3D, and I could live
I
with
don't know.
that.
to me, it's like you're watching a Star Wars movie in your bedroom and just putting the volume down and reading the subtitles because you don't hear the noise. I mean, it's maybe that's a dumb comparison, but it's just you're taking
I'm
away
still watching the
from.
movie, and I'm still I'm still
Uh,
watching it. I don't know what to tell you guys. I want to watch this movie anyway. I like the first Avatar in or not in 3D. It doesn't make a
Yeah,
difference for me.
yeah.
how old
That's
were
it.
you when you saw it when it came out? You were what?
What?
It
Like
was 2009, right?
13,
No, I
12.
was 15.
No,
15.
no, you weren't. 2009.
2009. I was born 96. What's that? 4 plus 9? 13.
You're 13.
I was 13.
So I don't even think they should release it
Yeah,
in anything but 3D, personally. But
But then it's not gonna make as much money.
I mean, it's not there. If like you said is true, there are not many screens with it
yeah.
in 2D to begin
I
with. I
think
mean, his whole
person. Okay, look at me for experience. I'm someone who doesn't like watching stuff in 3D. I'm not alone on
yeah,
that. So do you?
you're one of three, right? In this screwed right here. So I get you.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you really think that Avatar can meet its goal as the fourth top selling movie, even though they're having a lot more 3D showings than digital showings? Because I'm not alone on this. All my
Let
friends
me
are watching it regular, not 3D.
and see. Maybe that's like a thing now. Because what's their fucking problem? It's not because they all get sick and
I don't.
stuff.
I think it's just a more. It's distracting to the plot. That's all it is.
Oh no 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 no. So see, that's it. If you need to go tell James Cameron so he can grab you and just like slap you for going against James Cameron's vision.
I think
So
I think it's a generational thing because 3D was never a big deal to me. I think it's
I
a
just like
much
the.
bigger deal to you guys than it is me.
I like the way Red put it. Red's like, wait, your friends are gonna watch it? What's their fucking problem? It's like,
yeah, you can explain your
what the
situation.
fuck? Yeah, what's
What's
their
their
fucking problem? Fucking this generation sucks ass.
It
What
must
the
be a
hell's
generational thing because 3D has
well,
never mattered to me at all.
well,
Ever.
well, look, it didn't to us either until
No,
Avatar. It's
no,
the
yeah.
only reason we give a
Exactly.
shit about
But
it.
even when
Yeah.
Avatar came out, it wasn't a big deal to me because I think just my generation just doesn't care about 3D as much. You
If I
guys do
recall,
because it's like revelation.
even our cousin
Yeah.
Chris doesn't like it in 3D. I've heard him say that he doesn't like stuff in 3D. But it's not generational. I think it's just personal preference. But I remember them saying you could only watch it in 3D when it was first released because Cameron was like, "There's no fucking other way you're gonna watch
Yeah.
my movie other than 3D." Because
Did
that
he
was how I
say that
filmed
for
it
this one?
with his camera. Now this one probably not, but maybe he's got more to beat. But let's just face it, that first one with all those 3D screens hit 2 billion.
I mean, yes.
Money making movie ever.
Yes, that's true, but also got re-released, and I'm pretty sure people didn't watch it in 3D the second
That,
time either.
that was recently. It made 2
Recently.
billion.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
It made 2 billion before Avengers.
Yeah.
That's
Infinity
true.
War
That's
did.
true.
Infinity War is
Yeah.
what beat it, and it did it by re-releasing. That's the only reason it beat Avatar
Yeah.
was its
Yeah.
release.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
All I'm
That's
saying,
true.
we got it way off top. This is Bob Chapek talk.
Sorry, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should have been Avatar, really, because
All right, we'll change the thumbnail.
Yes.
So what's next? Wakanda?
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Now this is
Okay.
an interesting topic because
Because
two out of
some
three
people-
of us love this
Well,
movie.
wait. Do you want to tell the story about what happened? Because remember, we told everybody here. Oh, we had early tickets to Wakanda Forever.
Oh, you told the
And-
podcast.
Yes, we
and
did.
We
Yes,
were,
we
we
did.
were very excited.
I guess I could tell it. So,
Yeah. So.
my beautiful fiance for my birthday, she saw on Fandango's website, and they're using Fandango again. She went on Fandango's website and she bought early screening tickets for Wakanda Forever
Man,
on
sucks.
November 4th, which was my birthday. How fun is that?
I was excited.
Everyone was. Me, my brother, and my dad, and my fiance all went to the movie theaters bright and early because we were gonna go see the movie. We get there and the theater is closed. We're like, there's and you know, my brother's giving us a little hope. You know, maybe there's like a secret entrance for these private screenings. I've been to these before,
maybe
you know,
there is.
and then
it is. Yeah.
and we're all just confused. There's another entrance to the theater. We don't know what's going on because it says on the website the movie theater opens at 12:30, but our showing's at 11 o'clock. So we're like, And this, by the way, mentioned this movie theater is very far away from all of us.
Oh, that's yeah. It's like an
And
hour away.
yeah, and I'm just like, we drove all the way over here to do what? Nothing.
Sucks, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So we were banging on the window of the movie theater, let us in, let me in. And someone opens the door finally, and they're like, we're not showing anything here. There's nothing
Yeah,
showing here.
this guy looked at us like
Like, we're
"Man,
crazy."
Are you guys on drugs or something?
Turns
They're
out,
like,
the day
Black
before,
Panther?
my fiance checks her emails, and the day before the acclaimed movie date, November 3rd, she gets an email saying, we made a mistake. It's actually for November 11th. The day before we went to Wakanda Forever for November 4th, they sent her an email saying,
Damn.
we fucked up. It's actually for November 11th.
I can't believe they messed up and came back. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, because obviously that's a lot of tickets were sold. That's almost just false advertising.
And it was strange because no one else was there. I feel like they must have told people earlier than my fiance, because she got the email last minute.
Yeah, we were the only people there
Yeah.
like looking for Black Panther.
So
Nobody
we decided
else.
to watch Black Adam instead.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it was funny because the lady at the theater is like, are you guys sure you want to return these tickets to Wakanda Forever, because these are really limited edition tickets? I'm like, I already had backup tickets. Okay, I already bought tickets for Cinemark. I was like, just in case. Thank God I did. And she's like, are you sure everyone's gonna love this? Lady, we live an hour away. I'm not driving over here to watch Black Panther. This screen isn't even that good. Okay. Like, we went there and the screen was not good. It was a food service in between. We were missing part of the movie because we were ordering food. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it was a
Cinebistro. Yeah.
Cinebistro. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they still existed. I haven't been with this since I was since Honey, I Shrunk the Kids
with overpriced food. So we were just like, I'm not coming here anymore. You can kiss my ass. So I'm never using Fandango again. I learned a good lesson there.
Wow.
But 1 week after, we saw Wakanda Forever, and much different movie, like much different experience. Thumbs up. Fantastic.
Yeah, I was like, and you're all like this. Good.
Yes. Well, 2 out of 3 of us are like this.
Yeah. Look, all right. I mean, I tried to explain to you guys. It's not like I sat there and said this movie sucks. It just wasn't for me. I was truly bored out of my mind. I don't know. I'm sorry.
That is crazy. It's so hard to understand. Like, I just don't get it. I don't know why you could find that movie boring.
I'll try to explain it, but I felt like not a lot of major things happen. I have reasons why I think they had to go that direction. I feel like no major event moved the story, the bigger Marvel story at least. It felt very isolated. And thinking back, I was like, I guess it kind of had to. Namor, I felt like was thrown in to help the story along, as opposed to like let Wakanda be its own story. I'm not saying it's a problem. It's just I rank it somewhere around between Captain America and Captain America Winter Soldier. That's about where I sit with it, which for me, Captain America is okay. Captain America Winter Soldier, I thought was boring as hell too, but I know I'm alone on that one because you guys love that.
Yeah, it's a very good movie.
Okay, and so it's production value, I never saw a problem with it. It's not like it was crap. It was
Cinematically, it was beautiful.
Sure, yeah, I'll go with that. I like that. I was bored out of my freaking mind. That's all I could say. And that's a subject. It's like Buck, like in funny, we're saying that's not funny. Period. The end. That is not funny. It's like to you, but this didn't excite me any. And sadly, I was actually in it. I was really hoping to feel and you were even saying, Marco, this was like the saddest moment to me in all of Marvel.
First 10 minutes, man. The first 10 minutes had me super emotional.
I was
be honest, those first 10 minutes were kind of just like my lip was quivering because then you showed like the Marvel logo was just Chadwick.
I've never had two tears. I've never had 2 tears coming out of my eyes in a Marvel movie. I had 2 tears coming out first 10 minutes. Bam. I don't know how you cannot feel that.
Yeah.
But you just said the Marvel logo was like definitely like a moment of like that was like damn. That was good. But that wasn't the movie. That was just a cool little homage or a little nod to him, But the movie itself, I was still trying to figure out like, okay, wait, he's dying. Like I was trying to just put it all together, and then she's trying to build the heart. Spoilers. Build the heart there, and it seems like I hear heartbeat is at like 30%, maybe it dropped lower, and then as like not even 3 seconds later, the mom's coming down the steps like he's gone, and I was like, the timing seemed weird there. Like it seemed like he should have, like, did she just find out and then like Roadrunner down there? I don't know. Something like tripped me up, and I wasn't quite in the moment, I guess, or something. But I still like I was sadder when Peter Parker dusted away and when Iron Man died, and all that was like that one. I was choking in those scenes, but I'm sadly I did not, and it's not that the situation in real life isn't sad. It was that the movie didn't touch me. I don't know why. I'm not sure.
I just feel like the fact that we knew he was already gone, and the way that Shuri's just trying to save him, kind of like gave like trying to like she had hope, and her praying to Bast, who is the Egyptian god of the Black Panther, saying, give me the strength to heal my brother, and I'll never question you again. Whatever, obviously it didn't work. It was just emotional. It was just an emotional scene, and then the funeral afterward, the tribute, the coffin, and just everything. I think all it really ties in, like, because Chadwick Boseman was the Black Panther. Like, they were almost the same character. I think that's one of the main reasons why they couldn't recast him, because they just couldn't do it, because no one else can play it like he could. Like, no one else. I genuinely think that's why they did it. So I just feel like that scene right there was perfect homage and a perfect send off to him and his character as like together. You know what I mean?
I do. I feel that, man, and I'm not here to take away your sunshine. That's awesome, and I saw it around me. I was looking. I could tell everyone else is feeling it. I'm like, I'm glad they're feeling it.
It's funny. You're kind of reminding me of how I felt. I think you felt the same way about Shang-Chi. A lot of people loved that movie. To them, that was top tier Marvel movie, especially for Phase 4. I didn't feel anything. I saw that movie and I'm just like, I'm glad people enjoyed it. I'm sure people that love kung fu and that kind of, that kind of movie just really spoke to them. It didn't do anything for me.
Right.
To me, it was just like, okay, I'm glad they enjoyed it.
Yeah, I that was another movie that I truly did enjoy a lot, and neither one of you really cared for it that much.
True. Yeah, that's another one I just watched the second time, and I liked it more the second time. And after yesterday, our buddy Matt, who's on this show, he did not like Black Adam the first time. I did, but I'll explain why in a minute. I kind of already did. He watched it a second time and he's like, you know what? A second round was good. I call it like a 7 now. And actually, even before he said that, I was like, I really need to look at this now that I know what I'm expecting. Because I kind of thought I was going to get, for me, something that did what, maybe not quite as much as what I did for you, but I was really hoping for like a big bang at the end of the Phase 4 to like, now here, we're back. See, don't worry about all the shows that were kind of mediocre at the end. This is like what you're going to get. And I don't know, it just didn't feel like the Marvel tone I'm used to or something.
Yeah.
It kind of had an Eternals vibe. And what's funny is I liked Eternals, but looking back, I'm like, man, Eternals was kind of boring too, now that I think about it. For me, boring for me. I'm not saying boring to the rest of the world, but
I mean, personally, I wasn't. I also liked Eternals to an extent, but I wouldn't give it higher than a 7. Because again, there was a lot of boring parts in Eternals as well. But this movie, I feel like when it comes to you, like a point you said really nothing really happened. In the sense of the continuation of the story for Marvel. I don't think necessarily it was a continuation for the story of Black Panther, because, well, T'Challa per se, because we have Shuri now as the Black Panther. Spoilers. And obviously she's going to continue that legacy. We have the character Ironheart, which no one was a big fan of in the movie. I mean, it's a big one.
But she's fine. Yeah.
I mean, again, I enjoyed her character. I think I don't have a problem with prodigy teenagers, because they've existed in Marvel before.
Yeah, they're getting worse.
They're getting. Yeah, I'm getting kind of
like at some point it's like it's too much. That's all. Okay, but go ahead. Right. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
And so another continuation story there. And I genuinely think we're gonna have a lot of continuation story with Talokan and Namor. Because they're gonna play a huge role in Marvel like soon. Because I don't know if you saw the size of that city, the fact that Namor is in fact a mutant, and he said, "I'm a mutant," straight up said it.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're gonna see a lot more of him. And he said it himself: when the second that the world blames Wakanda for all of the actions that they did, and everyone's gonna go after Wakanda for it, they're gonna ask for help. So the only person that can help them, the only ally that Wakanda has now, is Talokan. which is Namor, and then he's going to see that as an opportunity to take over the world. Now, will it happen? Probably not. There's probably going to be another big bad. Who knows? It could be Kang the Conqueror. Could be another mutant threat. We don't know. But Talokan is probably going to be humbled. Something's going to happen to them, and we don't know what's going to happen. Namor's going to be asking for help. So that's my personal opinion of what's going to happen. But you guys can say what your thoughts are.
Namor.
Yeah. His villains call him Namor.
Namor.
All right. Well,
Namor.
let me
No amor.
let me let me say my reasons why I actually really enjoyed the movie, because going into this movie, I was very skeptical. I was on the kind of the side where I think they should have recast the role of T'Challa. As much as I love Chadwick Boseman and I thought he was great, I wasn't sure it was the right move to move and just basically scrap the character altogether. It was going to take a lot of convincing for me, because going in, I kind of knew sure it was going to be Black Panther. The trailers towards the end kind of gave that away. And I'm like, I'm not sure I could buy into this. You know, I did not want this movie to be an agenda-driven movie where it's like, okay, is she just going to become Black Panther because she's just part of the legacy of the family, which she really is kind of like the brain of Wakanda. She's not really a warrior. She's not. So I'm like, This movie's going to have to really work hard to convince me that she deserves to be Black Panther. And honestly, I think it succeeded, because they gave, from the very beginning, they gave Shuri the will to be it. Because first of all, it kind of threw in, she blames herself for T'Challa dying from the very beginning, because she felt that it was her fault that she couldn't save him. So that gives her already like, okay, I like where they're going with this. She kind of takes his death, like the blame of his death, on her, and it kind of changed the whole personality, because in the first movie she was all sunshine and giggles, and now she's just very depressed and doesn't really want to talk to me. And then on top of that, her mom dies, the queen dies, and she blames herself for that too. You know what I mean? So
that was a cold line that No More said when he was like, mourn your losses, you're queen now. I was like, oh my god,
yeah, damn,
that was cold.
That was cold. So yeah, she had every reason to become the Black Panther, and it made sense. For me, it made sense, and I liked the way they did it. And I still kind of wonder how it would be like if it was Chadwick Boseman in this role. I mean, how much of the story they actually had to rewrite in order to make this, the narrative fit. But I thought it worked. I thought the score was beautiful. Visually, it was much better than part one. Namor, to me, top 3 villains in MCU, because we don't really have a lot of them. And he was menacing when it needed to be. I know they changed up his origin when it came to the comics a little bit. I really couldn't tell the difference, because I don't remember where exactly. I know he's.
I mean, it's not Atlantis. It's Talokan.
Yeah, then they changed it up because of Aquaman. Whatever, but it worked. I mean, they did a lot. I loved his origins, the way they told it. It was beautiful. I loved everything about that. To me, I mean, I put it as an 8 out of 10 only because I feel there's 2 things that bugged me, and one was Ironheart. I just feel she was thrown in there just to kind of advertise her Disney Plus show. You take her out, she didn't need to be there. She did not need to be there at all. Her outfit was very Power Rangers looking. It looked awful.
Have you seen the movie Real Steel? Have you seen the movie Real Steel with
it looked a little like that too.
With the robot?
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
And another thing that I didn't hate, but I just felt like Angela Bassett's role, as they were just throwing out, oh, she's going to be nominated for an Oscar. She did good, but I didn't see anything different from the trailers that I saw in the movie. It was pretty much the same. I was like, okay, she was good. I
agree with that. Yeah.
It didn't scream to me, oh my God, like she's going to win an Oscar.
Probably
the best rumors.
Yeah,
they just try to make rumors, and then the rumor turns into a reality. So, good.
Yeah.
So,
I think her best scene probably was when it was her speech when Okoye,
that was her best scene. Yeah,
that was the best scene. The scene with Okoye. When
but even that scene though, I was kind of like, man, you're being kind of cold to Okoye. She's done a lot for you, man. You know, I understand where she's coming from.
But at the same time, she went on Killmonger's side when it was time for the throne, and.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, she was just doing that's her position. You know what I mean? To go to protect.
Yeah, she was more loyal to whoever was Black Panther than loyal to her family. So loyal to the Queen's family.
I love the kid the after credit scene.
Yes,
T'Challa had a kid.
T'Challa
So that
Jr. Mhm.
I love that. Eventually he's probably gonna be Black Panther, and we're gonna see it. So I'm
Yes,
like,
it's
great.
again, it's another lead up to Young Avengers.
Yeah.
We have a fantastic lineup already of kids that are already gonna probably
Yeah.
take over their parents' roles,
Yeah.
or
And
tutor or mentors'
yeah.
roles. Mhm.
And for me, the tone in this movie was perfect. This is the way I love to see my Marvel movies. The tone was serious, yes, and then the fact that it has some comedy in it, it was perfect that it didn't take away from the tone of the movie completely, which most of these Marvel movies,
Yes.
I'm sorry, especially lately, have been doing. So it was a good send off for me to end Phase 4, especially after seeing She-Hulk and what it did to me. This was perfect for me. It was great. So that's why I enjoyed it a lot. I want to see it again. I just haven't had a chance to.
Yeah,
I want to see it again too. Yeah, I
yeah,
keep trying. I'm like, oh, I can't get the time.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This would be an unpopular vote here, but because for me, I feel like the story was kind of like just not. I'm sorry, I know you'll disagree, but not a lot happened to me. So I feel like it could have been stretched out in a series for the simple fact that I don't think it's like a true sequel to Black Panther. It's like we just have to like take these characters and do something with them now. And I almost feel like if we chopped it into 40 minutes and had like even a 6 episode thing, I might have felt that pacing better because it was slow to me. Um, and it actually reminds me of a show we're going to talk about a little later when it comes to pacing.
Mhm.
Uh, that I had good and all right. Well, I don't want to get into that now, but honestly, I'll see it again. I don't know. At least I could say from a distance, similar to Last Jedi, I see the production values all there. It was like top notch. It's just for me, same thing. I didn't feel like a lot happened in Last Jedi. That there it was more important because I think it needed to. Here, you didn't really have to tell Secret Wars yet. It's like, hey, we're letting you know what happened after he dies. And by the way, he dies. That was the big deal for me in
Mhm.
this story. He dies. Everything else happened. I was like introducing Namor. Oh well, it's a new bad guy. And maybe it's me, but I didn't like the design of his species or people either. It was just too real world, what as not Mesopotamian or something. It looked like movie Apocalypse. I was like, this doesn't feel like Marvel to me. That was me. I'm gonna shut the
You,
hell up
you
because I
know,
know you guys love it.
one missed opportunity that I saw that I wish they would have included was that yeah, they did do a lot for Chadwick as far as, kind of honor him, but I feel honestly they missed the opportunity of kind of like putting him in as kind of like a cameo, especially for Shuri after she saw
And Killmonger in the ancestral
Killmonger,
plant.
which is great, but I wanted a scene where he was talking to her to like kind of like build her up, and
Yeah,
we didn't get that. It never. I was waiting for it, and it never happened. I'm like,
never happened.
really? I'm like, oh well.
I don't know. I guess
That-
they just didn't want
That's
to
about it.
like.
Yeah.
They didn't want to
yeah.
use him as like a visual because they would have to
Hey, you know
digitally
what? You're
recreate him.
right, but I feel like they could use his voice though. I thought that would have worked too. You know
They
what I
may have
mean?
not had the perfect line. Like they may have wanted to do it. And they're like, God, we have no footage here or any,
I guess.
B-roll that could do it. That's funny too, because you really wanted that in Rise of Skywalker. You really
Yeah.
wanted to see Anakin come back.
Yeah, all of
And
them come back. Yeah.
yeah, that just
Yeah.
kind of reminded me that it's like, no, who would have been perfect, for the pep talk. You like the pep talks for those who have fallen. Like I noticed it's like you're like, if I had the pep talk of the right
Well,
person, it
look,
would
it happened. It happens a lot, and especially
yeah.
lately, and it just doesn't happen. Especially look, the Obi-Wan series. Qui-Gon showed up at the very end when everything was all said and done.
Swear
For what? I'm
I
like,
f-
it
I
was so
felt like that
stupid.
scene felt so thrown on and tacked on at
God.
the end. Like he
Yeah.
felt like he didn't he almost looked like he turned around and he could have had like sunglasses on and a Hawaiian
Yeah.
shirt, but like,
I know.
oh,
I know.
I've been on vacation. Looks like everything worked out. Like it just felt so
They
like what
teased
a
them
joke.
the whole way through, and just to
Hmm.
show him for a 5-second scene. I'm like, what a kick in the balls. I'm like, come on. Yeah. So whatever.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right.
So
So
yeah.
cool. I am stoked you guys liked it. It's good. I'm glad a lot of people.
yes.
I took a picture of the woman exiting the theater
Mm-hmm.
because at the scene with baby Chadwick Boseman, it was
Yeah,
like I
T'Challa.
could tell it was touching. Yeah, and she was like smiling, looking at it. I was like, I'm gonna snap this and send it because I was like, I want to show. It was like I could see this is working for people, and that's good. So
Right quick before we move on to our main topic, I did see an article on IGN. They did the top 16 Phase 4 Marvel projects that came out, including the movies and the shows, right? In order what they thought was from worst to best.
She-Hulk
oh,
#1.
She-Hulk was number 7. I'm like, what? It was over Doctor Strange, It was. Oh, I'm like, whoa. I couldn't believe it. Oh, and guess what was dead last? Probably my favorite was dead last.
Spider-Man?
Okay. No, it was
Thor?
No. It was a show. The animated show.
Oh, what
I mean,
if?
What if was dead last? I'm like, really?
IGN can go jump in holes. They suck.
I'm just
Hey,
like, get out of here.
ever since Jessica Chobot left IGN, I almost gave up.
That's
Anyway,
crazy.
so I went to the comments right away because of course I want to see what Corsair was saying, and it's like I'm there flood of like same comments. Really, She-Hulk's number 7? Come on, that's a joke, right?
What was number 1?
Yeah, number 1 was Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
I think what Wakanda was, I think, was number 3 or 2.
Well, if y'all remember,
WandaVision was number 2.
Unpopular belief. I thought Spider-Man was okay. I liked it, but you guys thought it was way better than I did.
I loved it.
Like first,
that's still number 1 Phase 4 movie for me.
I agree. Too.
I was
sorry. I love Spider-Man. No Way Home.
Okay, don't get me wrong, but I still argue that, and you were gonna immediately say no, but I thought there was no good reason that story took place either. It was like I think it was an excuse to get the old guys on the screen.
No.
Exactly. See. Yeah.
Well, it's the beginning of Peter Parker on his own.
No, I thought it was very valid excuse. I thought it was brought together perfectly. I just think now that's not you, Rep, because you kind of stated your opinion about it from the very beginning. But all of a sudden now it's become the popular thing to start hating on Spider-Man all of a sudden because now they're just like, oh, it was just a fan.
Why now? People,
I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
People are losers.
We're just weird.
I'll be honest, y'all might find this kind of weird, but Doctor Strange is my favorite Phase 4 project out of all of them. Yeah,
I have nothing against that. I mean, I liked it. You know, I just was expecting a lot more. You know?
That's like number 10 for me, to be honest.
It's way at the bottom. Yeah.
No, not number bottom. It's not number 16, but it's number 10.
I don't know how many projects were out there, but I was like,
it was 16 for Phase 4.
Jesus,
16 projects. Yeah.
When you first said She-Hulk is number 7, I was like, oh, okay, that's appropriate towards the bottom, but I didn't realize there was double that.
16.
Yeah.
I would say, actually, looking back now, I would probably say, because I still enjoyed Spider-Man, it was more like that entertained me, but I didn't feel like the story did much for me. And that's the thing. It's like,
here's the thing, though. You have to admit, though, you might not have like been crazy about it, but as far as the hype of the project, that was the biggest project. I mean, Spider-Man was the biggest.
Yeah,
and it delivered.
Expectations were met.
It met expectations. Thank you. That's like a big thing. If you build the hype and you meet it, bam, you did good. But it's all about everyone feels differently. I could look at something and say, this is quality. It just didn't entertain me. I was not entertained. You know, that's not the first movie that's done that. Spider-Man did entertain me. I just think it was kind of okay, you pulled that out your ass. That's my opinion.
I think the reason why you love Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is because expectations were met for like there were expectations for that movie, but you didn't know what they were. You didn't really do a lot of research. No, I did.
But also,
and they were not met.
Red's a big fan of Sam Raimi also. So
that's true,
something to do with it too. So, and it did have a lot of Sam Raimi direction.
You could feel the Sam
definitely
Raimi.
Feel it, yeah. So.
Yeah, we talked about this.
And I think the big thing misdirect there was it was Wanda. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
All right. So drum roll. We have an actual Star Wars show people like.
Yes, Andor, baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Disney really hit home run with this one.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
No. Well, my question is, I mean, how do you think Andor is going to affect the rest of, like, what do you think is going to happen in season 2? What do you think we're going to do with all the stuff that we got from season 1? You can talk about your thoughts about season 1 first, but how do you think that we're going to lead into season 2?
I don't know if that's a good question for me, actually.
Yeah.
I think Bucky should get that one.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, look, we're definitely it's gonna be a time jump. It's gonna be I think a year later. I think from what the events happen.
Oh, real quick, spoiler alert. We're gonna go ahead and talk spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Huge spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave now.
I obviously it's just getting closer because it's gonna be one more season. That's season 2, and it's just gonna build up right before Rogue One. And that just goes from the very last end credit scene where we saw the Death Star being built. Yeah. Well, I guess that's where they're working on in the prison.
I had a feeling that's what they were working on, but
it had to be something like that. For them to
Imperial.
kill all the prisoners after they do that, I mean, it had to be something huge, right? So that makes sense.
No one could see, you know. Yeah. All right, so check this out. I'm about to knock your socks off. I didn't think it was all that.
You know what? The finale or the show?
All right, I had my ups and downs throughout the show,
Oh boy.
but I think the finale is what I was hoping would, for me, stick a landing, and I felt it fell flat.
I
So
had, I
let
had
me
a
say
feeling it
this.
would for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was because it's had highs and lows. It built up, and it was like peak, and then it dropped down, and
Yeah.
I was bored. And it built up, and it's like sweet, even better, and it did it again for the third time. I'm like, oh my god! So this time I was like, I want this fourth act to just totally rock it, and I was not gonna lie, it was very similar to my Black Panther. I was like, I'm bored out of my fucking mind in this
Wow.
episode. This
That is
last episode
crazy.
was lame as shit to me. For me, things happen in it. I get it. I appreciate that they're showing some interesting detail and really, really good detail. But for me,
Yeah.
I'm just like the pacing, man. Get me going. I can't take this slow pace. I'm sorry. So it was like I've read lots of expanded universe novels, new canon novels. It felt like a run of the mill Star Wars novel where there are moments that I'm like really excited. I'm like, God, I can't wait. Yes, keep going. I want to see that happen. Let's do this. And then it drops for a minute. And in life, I get bored. I do something else. And I come back to my, oh yeah, this was good. This was good. And by the end of it, I'm like, it went nowhere like I thought it was going to be. So, okay, I'm done. Now I'm almost happy to move on to something else. That's
Wow.
kind of where I am. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Doesn't
Well,
mean I hate it.
no.
I just
Yeah.
it's like it's a little like for me, it's like a 7.
That's
That's
good.
Maybe
fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
it's
That's
because
fair.
3 of those episodes were like 9s. And I kind of do it on like an average. A couple of them were in the 6s. I don't think anything was in a 5. So I think it's like a 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, my thing with this show is that I enjoyed it because of the fact that I think for me it's what I needed for Star Wars to be something that we haven't seen before as far as what we've gotten, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is a very more serious tone in Star Wars, which I love.
Mm.
Especially after coming out from the Obi-Wan disaster. I will agree the show is slow at points, but I do like because to me it went to like 3 main story arcs throughout this whole 12 episode season. It had the heist that it built up, then it had the jail when he was in prison,
Prison
and then it
Break.
had
Yeah.
then it had the rescue when he had to go back and go for his mom's funeral and rescue rescue the girl. And it all those 3 arcs they built up were really good, and they had really solid, good episodes. Like some of the main events were like really great.
Mhm.
Production value
Mhm.
outstanding. It's like you're watching a movie. It was
Mhm.
amazing. It was great.
Great music.
The acting all around was great.
Acting.
Diego Luna all around. I mean, I thought he was really good.
Oh, yes.
Skarsgård,
Stellan Skarsgård.
his role was very interesting.
Luthen. That character
Luthen,
was
he's
probably the most interesting
badass.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll give you that.
Martha. I mean, to me,
Martha,
I think
yeah.
she was the most boring for me. I don't know why. A lot of people love.
Really? No,
Yeah,
I
there was
love
just
that.
I just felt like they built it up and nothing really happened towards the end. Like, yeah, I kind of did, but it was like I wanted something more. I don't know, something more impactful. The finale itself, it was a little bit of a letdown. I enjoyed it, but I thought we were gonna get something more of.
Man.
Look, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This is what I was expecting.
Oh.
I know Brett was hoping for it too.
Oh yeah.
I was just hoping just for a little kind of thing with Andy Serkis's character
Yeah.
that would kind of hint
Oh, his
that
survival. Yeah.
that he survived, and you would get kind of a hint of like
Yeah.
this could be Snoke. You know what I mean? And it still could be, but we didn't get anything concrete on like a little tease for that.
Nah,
And we didn't get it. We didn't get that.
It wasn't
So,
that ruined it for me, but that was
Yeah.
in the back of my mind. Like, this would
Yeah.
actually be a plug for The Last Jedi and me liking it if
Yeah.
they started to fill in some of those gaps for me. But all right.
Although Martha did say something, she did mention Canto Bite to her husband. So
if you want to go fucking gamble,
Gamble,
go goddamn
Canto
Canto
Bite.
Bite and get it out of your system. God damn it! Like she was. That was great.
The guy was like, "What the hell did I do, bro?" Like, damn.
I promise I didn't gamble, honey. You like over here like I didn't do.
He's not listening, and the guy's listening.
He's like,
It's like, what are you saying?
Look, it was cool. That show was cool. It's one that I almost wish that was a movie. Cut out the fat from that one, make that a movie. And I wanted Wakanda Forever to be stretched out. So I don't know. I have a weird thing about pacing and tone.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, look, this show had a lot of cool moments where it were just like damn, that's a cool way of showing like that certain scene in Star Wars that has never been shown before, like a different look to it, right?
Mhm.
But my problem is it's just that I really enjoyed it, but and this is I've heard this from a lot of people say you take the Star Wars element out of it, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. It just doesn't feel like Star Wars. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Mhm.
Big
It
problem
doesn't.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you kind of as much as you, yeah, not every Star Wars movie has to be about Jedi's,
Mhm.
lightsabers, all that stuff, but you kind of miss the mystical feel of it when you take that out of it. So it
Right.
just feels like this sci-fi kind of show that's really cool and edgy, but it doesn't really feel like Star Wars though. So
It felt more like you said sci-fi, and even
yeah,
though Star Wars is space painted and it's more fantasy, just with future look to it.
Mhm.
yeah,
But it's magic and basically wizards and stuff.
I
It's
mean,
a
the
fantasy.
majority, if you go to
Yeah.
that aspect, the majority of Rogue One has almost none of that.
None of
yeah.
that.
But you know what? You know what? Here's the thing though. Rogue One, at least you do have
We have Vader,
no, you have Vader, but you have also the guy who's blind. He was Jedi
Chetwood, yeah,
sensitive. He kept mentioning the Force, so you know it was still
yeah,
within the Star Wars world
and
because he kept saying that.
the Force kind of wielded around
Yeah,
him when he was walking in that field and wasn't getting
right.
shot.
And then
So.
then of course you had Vader in there, especially towards the end. So that kind of like yes, this was a badass Star
Well,
Wars movie. You
I
know what I
could
mean?
see
So
why. I agree, but I could see why they would leave that out of Andor. Because if I remember in Rogue One, Andor wasn't there yet with anything to do with the Force or faith. Or he was just like,
yeah,
I'm here for like this is real world. I can wrap my
yeah,
head around my job and what this means to me.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I it's like all the things I'm probably complaining about. I would wish for if we didn't have this yet. So I'm not sure why I'm feeling this way. Other than it didn't feel all the way like Star Wars all the time. And some characters' time was wasted for me. Like the one guy who was with the corporate security who ate the cereal and his mom was fussing at him. I don't
yeah.
know what the point of this guy was, but I could do without him. Yeah,
They
it
they they
cut him out
concentrate on
completely.
so much, like
For
in so many
what?
episodes, and I thought it was gonna lead to something big, and
Yeah.
it was
Or
nothing.
or anything. Just
Maybe in season two he'll have a
Season
bigger
two, I
role,
think
like
they're
he'll
building him up for
reveal
season
something.
two.
But yeah,
Something's gonna happen
yeah.
with him and the other girl too, the blonde
And the
hair.
blonde, yeah, the ISB agent,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and she was well acted. Like she felt like such an imperial
yeah. She was.
hard
I liked
ass.
her.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, she was a great character. A lot of these characters were.
Yeah.
Luthen, man, he was
Luthen
the
was
bomb.
great.
Honestly,
Yeah,
for me, it was all about the writing. A lot of the stuff that these
Yeah,
characters said
yeah.
yeah,
was very emotional, very
Oh
like
yeah,
thought out, and you could tell
yeah.
that the writers really thought out their lines and their story. It was like, wow, it was
Yeah,
very
I
impactful.
loved the prison
good
the
call.
prison episodes. I love those episodes. I mean,
Hmm.
they were so tense. The whole the whole scene where they're like on the floor and like within seconds they have to like get off it or else they'll be like they'll die. They're like being electrocuted like in seconds. And there's like two scenes that are like, damn, you guys are cutting it really close to like
Hmm.
jump off of it and go to your beds. Like what the hell?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So and Andy Serkis, I mean, come on. Once he showed up,
yeah.
right away, you're like,
Oh
huh,
man,
that's it. That's interesting. Why would they pick
Why
this
would they pick
particular
him? Yeah,
actor, knowing that he voiced someone of great importance at some point? That's interesting. Okay, and then I'm like, yeah, it's probably coincidence. I just wanted to throw him in there just to like. But then as the story went on, you're like,
could it be?
interesting. Then
Well,
the way his character ended, I'm like, he didn't die. They didn't show him dying.
no, he's
So
probably recaptured and probably
right,
severely punished for leading this coup.
yeah.
This
yeah.
breakout.
So could this be like a
I think it could
vessel
be. Yeah.
that the Emperor was using that creates Snoke? I mean, it's
Experimented
possible,
on him. Yeah.
right?
It's very possible. It's very possible.
Well, you're right, Marco. Did you catch when he was doing the prison breakout and he gave that motivating speech and his voice got amplified on the
Right.
loudspeaker?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
he sound just like Snoke?
He
He was
did.
like,
He did.
no, 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 no. Like he had the voice. Of course, I'm not doing it. What?
Yeah, he did. But I think that's just, I don't know. I know you guys are really, really hoping that he's Snoke. Really, really, really hoping. Some way, shape, or form. But I don't think Disney can. I don't think they have the creativity to do something like that.
I agree with you. It is. I mean, it's something that I hope they do kind of do, but I won't be surprised if it didn't.
Listen,
because they disappointed me so many times.
a lot of
that-
stuff Disney has had handed to them on a platter, like for the fans
Silver
to just
platter,
eat
yep.
up, But
Let me tell you something.
they just
If
dropped it on the
this,
floor.
if this show was created by Dave Filoni, I wouldn't have any doubt that's Snoke.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Filoni said, that's Snoke, but it's
And
not. So I'm
somehow,
like,
and he would pull a Ahsoka out of his ass somehow.
We
make
would
it
have
make sense
seen,
to it.
we would have
It's
seen the
like-
Rebels, Hera,
Yeah.
like we'd have
Oh,
seen
yeah.
something, but like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that leads to like we were chit chatting about. Okay, with Iger gone, there was a rumor. We saw in John Campea maybe Kathleen Kennedy's
Yeah,
out by Indy 5. We're
yeah.
like, all right, now we're back to who's taking over Star Wars again. So
Dave Filoni.
you know,
Dave
Dave
Filoni.
Filoni. Yep.
Yeah.
As long as he can keep making projects and lead the production, then that I'm for him. Otherwise, I feel like we need more of a producer who knows what they're doing and just says Filoni's in charge of writing it all, though. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, Andor was probably an 8.
Good.
I all the actors, all the like the heist scene
Yeah.
on that planet, the prison
Yeah.
scenes, all the political scenes with Mothma. I mean, a lot of people find them boring, but I really found them interesting because that's a side of Star Wars we
Actually, I
don't
like him
really
too. Yeah.
see a lot. You know, we don't really know what's going on, like
Yeah.
on the political side. Like it's a huge
I
deal.
thought it was interesting too. I just felt like it led to nothing though. Like
Right.
it wasn't a big
It's
deal.
not- it's
at
not
least,
gonna
at
lead to
least
nothing
not
right
yet.
now, you
Not
know,
yet. Yeah. So
It's gonna
I
take
think
a
it's
while for that
showing
to set in.
it's showing everybody's sacrifice into her. She's doing something that we all kind of like, oh wow, we never knew you had to like basically betray your daughter. Although the daughter was like in this religion or whatever, which from what I understand followed the practice of being betrothed and stuff.
Yeah,
So
on their planet, it was like their planet's like traditions.
Chandrilla, which they
Yeah,
blew up in The Force Awakens. I don't know if you caught that. That was
they
the planet
did on
that.
Starkiller Base with
Yep.
Starkiller Base. Yeah, it was one of the planets.
Yep.
oh,
That's
I didn't
yeah.
catch on to that. Okay.
Chandrilla. That's where Mon Mothma's from. They just said that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, the writing was another huge thing for me on the show. A lot of the small little connections that we're gonna see eventually, for example, K2SO, the Imperial droid that we saw capture Andor right off the bat.
Yeah.
So again, he's probably gonna get his hands on one of those eventually.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
good stuff.
he'll be in season 2. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
probably gonna get him season 2 because season 2 is literally gonna end on the events of Rogue One, right? Like as soon as Rogue One starts.
Cool.
So we're definitely gonna see a lot of. It's probably gonna be a time jump, pretty big one.
Yeah, big one.
I think it's a perfect lead to season 2. I really do. I think we're gonna get a lot of like. They're probably gonna progress a lot on their team, on the Reliance. We're probably not gonna see a lot of progression, but from that point on, like their plan to take down the Death Star, Diego Luna's like missions, like I don't know. I think we're gonna see a lot of it, and I'm excited for it.
This whole show is such a big build-up. Like from the show itself, and now we're like, okay, it's all leading to season 2. It's almost like this is the slow part before the big part. Now, season 1 was the slow part.
Yes,
and season like. But that's like the style of this show is the whole thing is a slow build, slow
and
boil.
honestly, a lot of the episodes were like they're like the prison break scene. Like that was my favorite episode. Like that was just like that didn't feel like a build up at all. That was an episode. That was
that was the
that actually felt like the finale at some point. When I saw that, I'm like, is this a finale?
I thought the same thing. No, Marco. So what I'm saying is every arc, it's like it had three
episode arcs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the heist when that happened was like the apex of that arc, right? And the prison break was the apex of that one. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying those were boring or slow buildups. Right. That was the bubble popping, and it's like now I had to start over again and build up. You almost make me want to change my score because like that one thing that that part where you said the K2SO style droid when it got him, and that feeling of him getting judged, and it's like, whoa, 6 years, what the hell? And he's in there and you see the situation. I felt like anxiety personally.
Yeah,
I was like really like, oh,
I'd be like,
can you imagine?
Son of a bitches.
Yeah. Can you feel like that in my gut? I was like, what would happen if you got accused of something?
Yeah, if you're like walking down the street and all of a sudden you get captured and you didn't do anything, all of a sudden you get 6 years. Like I was literally with him. I was like, what the fuck? 6 years? I'm like, that's crazy.
And then when you're there and you're getting shocked and you're laboring and I was like, this is disturbing. And that's kind of neat that show could evoke that sort of feeling. So I forgot like how cool moments were. It's just like when it ended for me a little slow, I'm like, ugh. Like that's the last taste in my mouth was a fairly dull episode to me, like a 5 or a 6 in my opinion. Like just that band funeral like took forever to get going, and
it was I was wondering like, man, they're really dragging out this March band scene for this funeral.
I like the band scene.
it was fine, but I just felt like if you're gonna do that, then you have to end it to a point where like, oh man, like yes,
you didn't like space trumpets and French horns and
You know, I kept thinking when I saw that, I was like, that's not what they were playing in the do 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 do
No,
do. I
no.
was like,
These look like instruments from the real world, like flutes and
yeah,
recorders,
they
just
just
like modified to look like Star Wars stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I know. That's a little too real world for me.
Hmm.
That's part of my where I'm like, it didn't always feel like Star Wars for me.
You know what I
And
didn't like also? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish
I was
your
just gonna
thought.
say it was in the prison mainly, but elsewhere too. I didn't see a lot of mixed aliens with the humans. They really focused on a lot of humans.
Yeah.
I forgave it because after a while we started to see some more, and I was like, okay, I'm good enough. But
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
what's up? What do you have to
No,
say?
it's just the final scene at the end of this episode, the finale. I didn't like that Andor went back to Skarsgård's character. What's his name again?
Luthen?
Luthen. Hmm.
I don't like that he came back and basically was like ready to die, like just kill me. And I'm like, really? You're gonna went through all that, everything you did throughout this whole season, and you're gonna be like, yeah, just kill me? Really?
I
I'm like,
think he
really?
did that
Come on.
more as like a,
And
I'm showing you my loyalty to the rebellion. You
Yeah.
know, I don't think it was more of
I
like, because he knew Luthen was not gonna kill him if he was gonna show him loyalty to the rebellion.
did he though? I don't know.
Because he promised
That
all his
was-
friends. He promised all his friends was gonna come back. He wouldn't have said that if he wasn't going to come back.
Well, he could have just had to make him feel better just to get up and go. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I think he knew. That to Luthen, the rebellion was more important than killing him.
I guess, but that's a very like strong chance to take like that, knowing that
he takes a lot of
he was
chances.
there.
I
He
mean,
was there to kill him specifically. So
I mean, Andor takes a lot of chances. I mean, the whole prison break, that was a huge chance.
Yeah.
Huge,
No, yeah,
you know.
it was,
So
yeah.
I feel like
Oh no! Hey,
Right or die.
let me tell you, Andor's got balls because he
Huge.
does. He's not afraid to like
Oh,
do what
Jonas.
needs to be done. No doubt.
Mhm.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it's a great character to see in Star
That's
Wars.
why he's one of my favorite characters. I mean, ever since Rogue One, I thought his character was great, and now I even like him even more. So yeah. I'm gonna give the whole series an 8 out of 10 too. The only reason I would not is just maybe the pacing on a lot of the episodes were a little slow, but I thought for the most part it did its job. The finale didn't hit home as much as I would have liked, but if it did, it would have easily been a 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give it 8 out of 10.
I probably would have been there too, or at least an 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a funny thing because if I'm going to do a quick comparison, Obi-Wan should have knocked it out of the park. We've said this already. But it focused on something that wasn't even Star Wars. It just got there. It just failed. It didn't know what it was supposed to do. This
Production
show
value, everything just filled all around.
This show, you could watch it, and I think there's not a single piece you could pull out of it and say this wasn't a really major planned part that's always supposed to be a part of the story. Like every bit of this story felt precise, like well written. Like we didn't put any extra bull crap in there to please anybody. This is the story we wanted to tell, and it fits well. So I almost think it's too cool of a story for Star Wars. That's a weird thing to say, but like Star Wars has this like vibe to it. This little like strangely corny
kiddish vibe.
Like
it's kiddish. It's meant for kids.
Kiddish, I guess. Okay,
sort of, yeah.
And it's like they almost cheated by making it too cool. It's like Star Wars isn't actually that cool, guys. Like you need to like kind of reel it back and not make it so serious because it doesn't have that same vibe. I don't want it to feel like parts of Obi-Wan, God help me. I don't really want it to feel like parts of the prequels. Just Rogue One had that same thing, but it still felt more Star Wars than this did to me. I don't have a great way of explaining it other than that's
I understand. I get what you're saying because Rogue One it was different from every other Star Wars movie I've seen, but you could still know it's a Star Wars movie. They were very familiar. There are a lot of familiar Star Wars aspects to it. We got droids, we got Vader, we got the Death Star, we got the Rebellion. You know, there's a lot of Star Wars in there already. Andor, it just felt like a setup to that, and then we didn't really have a lot of references to other previous Star Wars stuff. I think the most Star Wars that I saw in that show was Luthen's store. The little shop he had with all the collectibles. There was a lot of callbacks. I don't know if you saw one of them that I was really like geeking out over. I don't know if you guys played The Force Unleashed. One of the endings for Force Unleashed was the Sith armor that Starkiller gets, and it looks like the armor that Luthen has displayed there with like the spikes and like the helmet and like
I saw a video about that.
yeah, it
Actually,
looks just like that. And I thought, wow. So he had like a Jedi Temple guard. He had Mandalorian armor in there. Like he had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That was
Jedi
just like,
holocron, Sith holocron.
yeah, he had a lot. There was a lot of
I
collectible
mean,
stuff to look at.
I get the nods and all that, and that was cool. I guess I mean like the feeling, the tone, like
Right,
the
the
music was
tone,
cool.
yeah.
The
Mhm.
music was awesome, but it felt more like Blade Runner soundtrack than a Star Wars.
Right. It wasn't. It
soundtrack.
didn't feel like a Star Wars story, which I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's the paint job wasn't as Star Wars to me.
Right.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
I totally agree with you on that. Yeah.
It did it ruin it for me though? No, it just
No.
kind of it was always there telling me, is this Star Wars? Like it was almost like a annoying like you're trying to watch something and something's right here. Like, hey, I'm trying to pay attention. Quit trying. I know. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. Stop. Like
Mhm.
that's kind of what kept going on in my head. Like
I
it's
felt like
distracting.
the scenes with Mothma, especially the scenes like the city scenes and stuff, when they were like in her house in the apartment, it should have felt like Star Wars to me, especially like the prequels, right? But it did. It honestly felt more like Blade Runner, Minority Report kind of feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was fine. I liked it. It's just I kept when I was watching it, I had to remind myself, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is Star Wars. I forgot. It's
Yeah,
I forgot what I'm watching for a second.
I think Disney's
So,
now
yeah.
trying to, show us that maybe they can open their horizons more to different Star Wars productions,
And that's great.
and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm fine with
I'm
that.
okay
I
with
just I hope
Let's
they
do it.
make more projects like this, so this isn't just like a one and done type of thing. Like, oh,
know, right?
we made Andor.
Yeah.
We already touched that field. We don't have to touch it again.
So Marco,
know.
what do you think? Did you think this is something we're one group here? Overall, we're in a positive place with this.
Right.
Overall, I might have my issues, but I'm still like a 7 out of 10 is better than what I gave Obi-Wan. I gave that a
Mhm.
6. And I still thought it was
And I
better
thought,
than
and
both you
I thought,
guys.
I thought 6 is too high, but
I
go ahead.
think I went
yeah.
lower. I think I gave Obi-Wan like a 3 now.
Damn.
Anyway.
So what do you think it's going to be successful? Because for what I've seen on YouTube, I don't know how much that's for real, but it sounds like it's not doing great. Like
Right.
I've even heard they're throwing it on Hulu just to try to get a bigger audience.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when it comes to Star Wars as a fan base, this show is not going to hit everyone because this isn't your normal Star Wars content. We've all said it repeatedly. There's no Jedi, there's no animation, there's no Filoni verse, there's no prequel verse. It's just the biggest fans, exactly, and all of the sequel fans are gone. They're not still here. So
Yeah.
it's just like it's a new audience that is attracted to this Andor series, or it's dedicated fans of Star Wars, like good Star Wars, that are watching the show.
And like the older audience, I'd say.
Older audience as well.
It's a new audience because it's like, hey, there's like a fan base that you found that's
Right.
actually supporting
People
you now.
that aren't a fan of the whole mystical aspect of Star Wars really enjoy this show. And if you weren't a Star Wars fan to begin with, I feel like Rogue One and this show are good shows to start with, because
I do too.
it's serious, it's got tone, it's well written, and it's a decent introduction to the whole Star
Good
Wars
point.
universe. Because when you watch Andor, you watch Rogue One, they're serious tones, and then they're gonna wonder, hey, what's his origin of Darth Vader? Because he's in the show, he's a badass. I mean, he's in the movie, excuse me, he's a badass. How's he gonna start? Every time I tell someone who's never seen Star Wars where to start, I tell them Rogue One,
I agree.
because
Yeah.
it's
a good strategy.
it's
I
a
like it.
it's a fantastic movie to watch first. It's probably debatably, a lot of people say, the best Star Wars movie right now, and you can really piggyback wherever you want. You can piggyback to Darth Vader's origins, episode 1. You can piggyback to the continuation of that movie, episode 4. So it's just dependent on the person watching, and that's why I think this series and Rogue One, in my book, they're fantastic. I love them heart to death. But when it comes to being successful, I think a true Star Wars fan, hopefully, will love it as much as we did, and hopefully it reaches that success. I mean, we have movies like Solo that didn't do so well because of reasons, but again, this show is probably not going to do as well as Obi-Wan, because people liked Obi-Wan as a character, not necessarily as a show. He had rep.
I
mean?
I have a feeling the creators kind of knew that they weren't expecting this to be as popular as Obi-Wan
Exactly.
or Mandalorian.
That's
So
why
I think they expected the audience that we're going to get was not going to be as big as that, but the fact that it will still do well and open up a new audience.
Yeah, but it also kind of pisses me off, because when you look at Andor and you're like, man, fantastic production value, fantastic writing, fantastic stuff, but it's Andor. You know what I mean? He's not a major
Yeah.
Star Wars character. He's nothing big in the show, but we love him now because of show and Rogue One. So it's just like, wow, this is such an amazing quality. Why couldn't they do this for a loved character like Obi-Wan
Yeah.
Kenobi?
Right.
You know,
you're
so
right.
that's we've talked about this before, and I still don't have an answer for it.
There isn't one. They literally just said,
Yeah.
this is an Obi-Wan show. We're already gonna get money from it because it's well-known Obi-Wan Kenobi. We threw Vader in there. We threw Hayden Christensen in there. We know we have to say all these names because that's the only way we're gonna make money from this show. It's the same reason, I don't want to say this because it might offend people. It's the same reason why Black Adam made money, because The Rock said Henry Cavill's gonna be in it. I don't know, but that's just me. So I don't know.
We were all going into that one. I mean, just to jump there, we were all going to that going, does it really look good? No.
Oh, Henry Cavill's in it? Okay, maybe I'll give it a watch.
Nah, I might check it out, yeah.
You know?
Come on, you have to admit, I think we all could say that. It was better than I thought it was going to be, right?
I thought it was going to be like a 5. I gave it a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I give it a 7. I would say it's funny too, because it's like, it was full of corny. It had some bad characters, but I was, and this is, you might be like, Rhett, go after yourself, but I was actually entertained through the whole thing from top to bottom.
Oh, it was entertaining, but it wasn't. It was the story was everywhere for me.
Yeah, I'm sure. I would agree with that. That's my point, though. It's like, I'm just throwing out 3 examples here. That's Black Adam, Black Panther 2, and Andor. I think I was most entertained by Black Adam, and it's not. It's funny because it's like, not at all good. I think the production value is best in Wakanda Forever. Actually, I'd give Wakanda Forever the best production value. It felt the most real. Andor, even though it was good, there every now and then I could tell it was like closer to a show production value than a movie. But
so you mean to tell me you like Black Adam more than Wakanda Forever and Andor?
I think what he's saying is just that overall.
That's what you just said.
Yes, yeah. But he's not saying he's admitting that Wakanda Forever.
I was entertained.
Oh, entertained.
Right.
Okay.
I think he admits himself that Wakanda Forever is a better movie.
Wakanda will better. That's what you said.
I think he's.
Rewind that on the edit. Wakanda will better, y'all.
Wakanda will better. No, he's saying. I think he's admitting that Wakanda Forever is a better movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's just that he enjoyed himself more. He enjoyed himself more in Black Adam. He had more fun, which I can understand. I've had movies like that where I just enjoy myself more in a certain movie than I do in a bigger movie. That yes, it is a better movie when you look at it, but you just have more fun in this movie instead. I can understand that. Sometimes it does feel that way in certain movies. But
look, because my feelings on The Last Jedi, I think it had the best production value out of the 3 sequel movies. All right, best quality, best acting, best lighting. Writing is one thing. It's like Star Wars and writing, but like writing, I thought was good. It just I didn't like the Star Wars part of the writing. Just
the plot.
So there you go. But it's my absolute least favorite. Yeah. So that's my point. I was more entertained by The Rise of Skywalker and The Force Awakens than I was The Last Jedi. There you go. I don't know.
I can go back to the prequels. I mean, Phantom Menace was.
Writing was
so
horrible.
much.
Yeah.
But I cannot tell you. I think I've seen Phantom Menace probably. I'm not gonna see the most out of those Star Wars movies, but it's pretty close. I've seen Phantom Menace a lot, and because I just enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
I think for me, it's Revenge of the Sith.
I know it's flawed as hell, but I love that movie. I really do. I can't say that about Attack of the Clones, although now it's not my most hated Star Wars movie now. The Rise of Skywalker is. Yeah. But look, some movies hit you that way. You know what I mean? It's like
everybody's different too. I mean, we pick on each other. I'll still, to the day I die, say you're wrong for liking The Last Jedi. I'm not sure how many movies I'd say that about, but that's one I'm like, you're wrong. You should not like that movie if you're an actual Star Wars fan.
Look, let me tell you something.
Until they fix it.
I feel really heavily strong that you're not a Marvel fan if you actually like She-Hulk. That just burns me inside. I'm sorry. I'm just like,
there you go. And bring it. I'm ready to I get you, man. Like, as long as we can start swallowing these pills and be like, all right, I think you might understand where I stand on Last Jedi, because you're throwing the She-Hulk back on me, and I'm like, all right. Hey, it didn't bother me. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. I guess I'm
it's not just you. There's some people who actually are just like, I thought the show was okay. I mean, it was meant to be silly. I'm like, fuck you. Okay, it is such a horrible show. I'm sorry.
That's how I feel about it. It's meant to be. It's meant to be not matter.
It's supposed to be a sitcom comedy, but it's not funny. Tell me where it's funny.
There's some jokes that are funny, but the story as a whole just like did not. It went nowhere.
So there you go. That's go figure, because it's like the same thing. I was like, I feel like nothing happened in She-Hulk, but yet I was entertained and I liked it. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I can't get with you on that, man.
I'm not looking for you to. I'm a fan.
I know. I just
best episode was when Matt Murdock was in there. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love how he dropped from the sky.
No, the first time, not the second time. First time he was in.
Oh, the first time, yeah. That was the best episode. Yeah, by far. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I don't even know how we're gonna title or put this episode together, because we went on like
we went to Avatar, we went Black
Adam.
Yeah. So I think as in conclusion, Andor in our eyes was a fantastic success.
It was a success, yes.
Yes, we loved it.
It's like all in the middle for me, yeah.
Right, because I genuinely think now that we see that Disney can actually put forth the effort towards a show, it gives us a little hope. So maybe Bob Iger can do some workarounds in Star Wars and make them all that fantastic quality.
Hey.
That's what we're hoping for, right?
Hey. I feel what you say. What you just said. Yeah, I want to see it happen.
Yeah. So right. I think that wraps up our podcast for tonight, gentlemen and viewers. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys next time. Adios.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Say bye, Dr. Strange. Bye.
Gobble, gobble. Bye, Dr. Strange.